I'll pretend to ruin your credit with one phone call.
Predatory lenders are never this easy to spot. Call us and protect yourself with the facts.
Every day, online predators make their way into homes uninvited and unnoticed. Help delete online predators. To learn what you can do to protect your kids' online life, visit cybertipline.com.
And we're back again. We thank you for staying tuned. We hope that you're getting a wealth of information as we are about the information that's been given by Margaret. You have something, DK?
Well, no, not necessarily announcements. We'll share more about that. In fact, that coming up in next month, really this month, since this is August already, we'll be sharing more in the upcoming shows about the 10th year commemoration of Hurricane Katrina.
Right.
And show how far we got. But you know what? I'm thinking back since we were talking about 10 years ago with Katrina, how at one time, and I don't like to use the term, but how at one time New Orleans felt like a third world community, third world country.
You're talking about relationship to Katrina, or you're talking about before Katrina?
Well, during Katrina, right there.
Okay,
but
yeah.
We didn't have some of the things we had that we take so for granted. You know,
right.
Like when the power was out for so many weeks and everything, you didn't have water right and everything like that. And I was going to ask Margaret as far as that. You said people might, here we have the luxury of saying I want to watch a TV show or something like that, but what are the limitations over there in Kenya as far as, I know, I don't want to say they don't have electricity, but transportation is an issue, and what are the issues that they have that would make it so rural?
So the community I work with are people who live in very poor conditions because they're not well up and they don't live in the city or in town, so they come from really rural areas where if you were to catch a bus, it's maybe the only bus that you have to catch maybe in the morning and also catch it back in the evening. So that's if you can afford the bus. So if you can't afford the bus, you have to walk throughout the night and come to the clinic so that you are in the clinic when it's morning, and throughout the night it's when there's no sun, so it's a bit cool to walk. So that's what most of the patients do. So they walk during the nighttime and they come and we find them there. Like when you come to work, they're already there. And then that's one limitation, accessibility. Transport. Sometimes I think it also hinders follow-up. The patients are lost to follow-up because they cannot afford the next fare to bring them back. So if they go back home and they have to raise, let's say, $6 to bring them to the clinic, and the only money they can afford is less than $1, it won't be possible to have them back to the clinic. So that's one thing. Another thing is food. So there's no enough like food resources. Food among the community is not available because also like they do small scale farming that is not sustainable, and sometimes according to how they feel like they're sick, they can't even farm sometimes. And if they farm, like most of the time they'll sell their produce and not store them for future use. And so that's one of the issues that they face. So the other thing is, so I've talked about the transport, the food, education. So most of the people are not educated. And if they go to school, they drop out before they finish. So like we have children who don't go to school. Our education is free, our primary education is free, but there's the parent has to buy school uniform, and the parent cannot even buy school uniform. So maybe they'll go with their home clothes, and then also the schools are far away. So this child has to walk to the school and come back for lunch if there's any food that is. Sometimes there's no food, so they have to stay in school until evening. So these are the challenges. So this child who is not well educated does not understand, does not know how to read. He can't even understand how to take care of himself and take his own drugs when the parent is not there. And also adults who are not literate, like you ask them when they were born and they'll relate it with maybe something like, if I want to ask how old was your child and they remember Katrina, they'll tell you he was born during Katrina. So I'll say it's in 10 years ago, so you are 10 years old. So that's how they're able to relate. So relate it with a disaster or relate it with something that happened, because they cannot really remember when they had the baby. Yeah, so education, health, accessing health, and food is a problem. In town there's electricity, but in the rural areas there's no electricity. They depend on natural lighting. They cook with firewood. They use the paraffin to lighten their so there's no also accessibility to water. There's no accessibility to water, clean, safe water. So we also have diseases associated with sanitation. Yeah, toilets availability.
Now, what about the clinic itself? Because I understand that has its own problems, I should say. Because nothing is computerized. You don't have like a computer to put the data in. So how do you keep records and how do you keep things on file?
So in my clinic we have we have Camry Wellcome Trust who conduct their studies in the clinic. And as I said, I have this very beautiful building that we see our patients in. But where we have like electronic filing system, we don't have. The only electronic system we have is to like put in the patient's details and maybe put their weight and calculate their BMI so that you're able to know if they're malnourished or not. So most of the times we have cabinets in the clinic. So these cabinets are labeled according to the unique numbers. So if it's A to Z, so we are able to retrieve the patient's file from the day he was enrolled. Maybe let's say 2004 when the clinic started to date. So you have to manually remove the file. You have to look for it. So once you displace it, you're gonna take time to take it out. And if for 100 patients it's hard. For 80 patients you have to retrieve all the files, write down their names, and put them on the stool. We have a stool where I'll go pick some like 5 files and call the names out so that they come. So when they come inside, I also have to document using manually. I have to do it because it's not electric. So we don't have records, like we cannot like trace it immediately. We have to go get a file and go through it. Yeah.
You finished with the question?
Yeah, I'm finished.
You're going to go. Excuse me. You're going to go back to Kenya. But what will you take back from this experience here in America to Kenya? Because the information you're giving us is awesome information about. You don't understand why anybody that has HIV/AIDS would not seek help, seek treatments, and take care of themselves. What will you bring back to your country about this country and their treatment of HIV/AIDS?
Okay, what I'll bring back at my placement, that's at the Connect to Protect, where I do my placement every Thursday. My supervisor has really supported me and taken me to different places where I'm able to learn and bring these best practices back home.
Who's your supervisor?
She's Nadreen Haidin.
I think I know her, yeah.
We might know something about Nadreen. Yes, we do.
Yeah, she's been very supportive to me, and she's really empowered me, because as much as I wanted to gain new skills, I had some gaps that I really wanted to learn, and she ensured I met my objectives. So one of the things that I learned is at the drop-in center also, where they take care of homeless children from age 14 to 23. where they give them support, psychosocial support, give them food, test for the HIV, test for sexual transmitted infections. This is a center that is not there available in my county. So I was thinking of the same center.
Just bringing that to your
bringing it back to my country,
right,
and targeting both infected and affected. And I think it's going to be beneficial. So I was thinking it in this way, where I'll have them come, have like an education area, a literacy area where they can study and supplement their education back home. They can read also about HIV and understand on their own, and have someone supporting them. We can have camps because they need to have fun, go out with them, have a center where they can have games, play together, also a place where they can be counseled on how to deal with grief, how to deal with bereavement if they lose their loved ones, and how to take their medication. Another thing is to like just encouraging them and to know that someone somewhere loves them. And what I can bring back home is the power of coalition, the power of coming together. So like Connect to Protect is strong because it is a coalition of different organizations. So this is the thing I wanna bring back to my country, that if you have coalition, if you work together, it's a massive thing, and I think that's the right way to tackle community issues. So having like a private organization, the hospital, the community, volunteers, well-wishers, donors, partner to make sure that these children and adolescents living with HIV and those affected live to their full potential into adulthood. The same way they're doing here, they have a coalition. They don't know each other, but they're there to work together to make New Orleans a HIV-free generation and prevent more infections to the adolescents and those who are vulnerable.
Hey.
Yeah.
We're so happy to say that we're part of the coalition as well, me and Pastor Williams, because we're with Youth Empowered Incorporated, which is an offshoot of Connect to Protect. So again, we thank Nadreen Hayden for the work that she's been doing and continue to do with that. And I understand, as we get ready to leave, you say something about Connect to what now?
Okay, so I was telling her I love the coalition, and I think that's what I'm gonna go and use. So I'll involve banks, my county governor, Amason Kingi. I'll show you this. The hospital, partners around, volunteers, well-wishers, companies, and engage
just
them.
To get involved.
Yeah, get them involved in one way or the other. They can help with information. They can help in advertising. They can bring resources together.
I'd love for you
them.
to keep on telling us what you're going to do. We have to go again.
Yeah.
We say to our viewers, go to a church of your choice and worship the Lord. We invite you to come on out to True Love Missionary Baptist Church, 2710 Phillips Street. Worship time is at 8 a.m. in the morning. Come on out and be blessed. This Sunday, we'll be celebrating Men and Women's Day at 2 o'clock. And we got Mark Napoleon. Pastor Mark Napoleon will be our guest speaker. He will come out and preach. Again, we thank God for all that watch. We ask that you keep on praying for this show, praying for all the individuals that come on the show. Till next time, that we just ask God's choice, His blessing. God bless you and God keep you is our prayer.